Pat Hermens today, and today we're going to be doing some live coding on interesting topics. Hi Pat, how are you doing, man?
Hey, good, thanks, man. And you?
No, doing well. I'm actually sailing the ship alone tonight. Actually, it's a pre-show because the folks tomorrow has everyone something on, so I need to sort of lead the way and do kind of a cast. So I was thinking maybe doing a pre-show, actually doing live coding, and
Sure.
that's why I actually invited you on the show with me to sort of get in there with Visual Studio Code Live Share. And
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
yeah, and then see if we can build something cool. So I was thinking as a little project to replicate Azure Event Grid in this session. Are you familiar with Azure Event Grid or not?
No, not entirely. I've read about the basics, but not had the opportunity to use it yet. So.
Okay, so for the folks that do not know, I just want to quickly share my screen. So what I have here is the Azure Event Grid documentation site. So basically, it's an offering from Azure that allows webhook eventing. So it's meant to be used by for lightweight webhooks or lightweight eventing in your systems. And as you can see here, the event grid ties the topics and event subscribers together. So you have event sources and you have event handlers. So some of the built-in event sources can be anything from blob storage all the way to event hubs, all the way to service bus and your own custom topics that you can hook onto. And the subscribers, the usage of these events can be anything that's built in Azure, like your function apps or your queue storage or your hybrid connections or event hubs, but even your own webhooks. So it can be literally anything. It can be a GitHub, it can be anything in the world that has an
That's
HTTP
really cool.
endpoint. So let's quickly talk about how this actually works. So the notion of a webhook is one service calling another service, but if you have service A and service B, if service A wants to call service B and service B is not available, service A either need to retry, and that's his responsibility of getting that message across, right? So that's where the mediator comes in, i.e. Event Grid, whereby it delivers. It's like a poster now. It delivers the message or this event to this broker and say, I trust you with this message, right? And he can continue with his job, and this broker will try to deliver. It's I like to compare it to PostNL, because if someone is at home, they will retry again the next day. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what it means. So
I think that's probably a bad example for this week, but in general, I think you're on the money there.
Yeah. So and then what Event Grid will do, similar to Service Bus or any other queuing mechanism, Grid will actually try to post this event to your webhook that you defined previously. And if your service is not online, it will retry again with exponential backoff until eventually, after 24 hours or whenever you set up, it needs to sort of die. It takes the event and put it, on an error queue.
On a dead letter queue.
Yes, and then notifies it with another event that this event didn't work. So then something else will pick it up. So eventually, your system needs to be reactive. I see now I've got some old information scrolling away. So there's some free advertisement for Jan. He's always watching. So I was supposed to update these details.
Whoops.
So quickly about events. Now, the difference between events and messages, and you probably know this, a message or like a command is normally between 1 and 1, where one system commands another system and expects back an answer, like do this or send this,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
An event is in fact of past occurrence. It's immutable, so it happened. You can do nothing about it.
So you can try rejecting it, but that'll just mess you up. So.
But yeah, you can try rejecting it, but it won't change the fact that it happened. Like customer has been created, it's a fact. And then depending on the systems on the left and the right, shouldn't really know about each other. The systems on the right reacts to the events that happened in systems on the left in this picture here.
Yeah.
And also one important thing to note on events is that it shouldn't contain state. It should only contain metadata of the event itself, and reference to the state. Because if it contains state, then you will get like old events coming through, and it will change your state, which is not ideal, and which you might not want. Eventually it will become fine, but the idea is not to pass the whole state of the object of the whole customer that has been created into that event, because it needs to be small and durable, fast. So it can contain a link to that actual customer that has been created with a URL, so that service B can ask the customer service to say, hey, give me the details, and then he can populate it on the database. So basically that's eventing in a nutshell. And in Azure, how it works is to be able to subscribe to an event source, you need to prove, as an event handler, you need to prove that your webhook is is a real webhook. So you give it a sort of URL and say, I want to subscribe to, let's take this example. For instance, when a blob is put on onto a container in blob storage, I want my system I want Azure to call my webhook. But first, to subscribe to that event, I need to prove that my webhook URL that I give is my own, or not my own, but a real actionable endpoint. It can't be foo.com and just have it trust that. So what it will do initially, when you subscribe, it sends a validation. It sends a validation post to that endpoint with a code, and it should ping back that code. Your application should ping back that code back to the service, and then it will marry each other and say, okay, that subscription is created with that URL. And that way, it sort of knows.
And you want to do all this inside an hour?
Sorry?
And you want to do all this inside an hour? You're a game man, Fanie.
No, I've actually started a bit. So let me.
Okay.
So that's Azure. So the story behind the story, why I was thinking of doing this whole thing, was between, there are people that don't have Azure or cloud access. I know companies that do not have cloud access yet, or something, or they're really like sort of stuck in the 90s, for instance, and they really don't believe in the cloud, and there's nothing wrong about it. It's totally fine keeping your things on premise, but cool things like Event Grid, you miss out on. So I was thinking, if we can build something that's the same way that you can deploy on your server, that acts as an Event Grid service, by all means.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
The benefit is that, one of the core things that we need to remember of building a Event Grid system is that it needs to keep messages in a sort of secure way, in a safe, in a stateful way. So if it dies, it needs to pick up that state again from somewhere. So my implementation, I've hooked it up with Hangfire.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
And have Hangfire actually push out the webhooks and retries and stuff like that.
Very cool.
But ultimately, if as this thing grows, you want it to be able to sort of have in memory, or you have your own implementation, or you use SQL Server or whatever. It should just plug into some kind of event store, and it should work.
Okay, nice, man.
Okay, so let's see. I just want to quickly see if we have our. We actually are live, which is fine. It's actually brilliant. You can go ahead and tweet the stuff if you want to tweet.
Thanks. I'll do that in a second. I just need to grab my charger. I'll be right. I just realized I haven't plugged my laptop in, so I'll be. I need
your
power.
Charger.
Who would have thought?
I'm actually trying to mock the Australian accent.
Gotta grab me power, mate.
Me power.
I gotta grab me power. I'll be right back.
Cool. I will continue as and wait for you. So, while Pat is getting his charger, I am going to show you guys what I've done here. How do you zoom in? Does it actually work? Can you actually... Oh, that sort of works in a way, I think. Pat, can you see my screen?
I got my power, mate. Yeah, it zoomed right in, but yeah, consumer
so,
one server
So it zoomed in, so it's fine. So the zoom works, right? So I don't have to worry about
disappears
this.
off behind your head. So yeah,
But it's fine.
a beautiful little green screen of you. You're not at your beach house in this scene, but it's nice.
Oh yeah, it's actually I'm in the Zoom. Why? What's that?
Now we've got two cursors. So this is
how do you exit Zoom? Okay, like that, obviously.
Yeah.
Cool.
Windows.
Right, so okay, let's show the server. One thing to note that the Azure Event Grid is built on the events itself has a schema. And it's their own little schema they came up with, but they also support cloud events schema, which is a sort of industry standard thing. I'm also building my thing that it works on the cloud events schema, because the idea is that you should be able to run with this system, and later on when you do have the cloud, change your URL and it should work. That's the idea. You should just change configuration, and instead of using your on-prem event system, it will now continue to use the cloud event system. That's without changing your applications. That's
nice. Okay.
That
makes it a lot easier then, huh?
Yes. You just have to restart the applications or resubscribe to the events in the cloud, because it obviously won't. Well, we most probably can do like a sort of migration tool that can pop out the stuff. But in any case, that's.
Sure, you could. But yeah. Right. No, this sounds nice and easy.
Yeah. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
Let's see. I don't have my Visual Studio Code open here. Let's just see if I can pop up a Visual Studio Code. I'm using Visual Studio Code as a REST client. Don't save. Okay, so I'm going to kill that stuff there. Right. I'm going to run my server. Not IS Express, though. I would like it to run it on Kestrel.
Of course.
Yeah, for some reason, the chat that's supposed to be there is blank. I don't know if you can just go to YouTube maybe and just type something just to see if it will pop up there, because that's that was a last minute thing I've done. It would be great if it works.
YouTube.com SDN cast, right?
Yes, you should be able to see our cast live.
Ultimate recursion. It's going to be scary. See like 16 versions of my face. Yeah, it says live coding.
Cool. Oh, we're actually live coding right now. It's just a bunch of console.
Well, I've got the Windows DP API thing up.
Oh, shit. I have, this thing is, sorry for the English. I need to, I've cloned my source code, but I have not gotten the database, which I should actually do. Hey.
Yeah,
that would be great, right? So
where's the chat?
So let's just see what's happening here. I'll show you the source code now as I go on. What's happening here at why is event grid trusted true. So I should be able to get to that server. So why am I not connecting to that? SQL Express most probably. Okay, so let's change that to SQL Express.
Yeah, apparently you're the only one that's in the chat channel.
Yeah, but if you say anything, does it work? That's the question.
Yeah, just trying to. It won't allow me to write. I can't see anywhere to write anything in the chat. That's all.
Let's see if we can figure something out. So.
Here we are. Okay.
How's the quality though? Because I see it looks like a potato.
I think mine's not great, but I think I can see you okay. Yeah, and the chat popped up.
Hey, cool. That's cool. So the chat popped up, which is awesome. Just want to see sdncast.nl. Why do we look like a potato? It's probably not. SD cost. Will that work? That works. Live coding. Live coding. There's like 2 live coding things going on. I don't know which one is which one. It looks fine. Yeah. It looks there's like 2 streams happening. The more the merrier. I think we're also on Twitch as well. Yeah, we're on Twitch. We're on Periscope. There are 2.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here we go. There's.
Nice. You've got it all set up. That's why you're streaming to the events and to SDN. Oh well, it's doubly important.
This guy down here don't look like a Muppet. The guy down under.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we have? We have a Kestrel server running. Please work.
Cool. Please work. Isn't that what everyone says when they hit F5? Please work.
Okay, so now it shouldn't give me a error. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. Unable to connect to web server and something broke. So we can maybe try to fix this. What's happening here? Cannot opening database event grid. Because it doesn't exist.
You got your SQL Express instance up and running?
I am not a SQL guy. So I forgot to do the SQL database because I'm using Handfire and Handfire needs to connect to the database.
Yeah, it needs a database, yeah.
I can most probably go and SQL event grid. So for the guys that are listening or watching this, there are some hiccups still with this code. So as is, if you clone it, you'll get errors. Also, number 1 in the solution, you just go into the solution file and fix your project. And then number 2, well, we'll probably fix it now with this commit, is remember to create a database, because I did not. I've done this on a separate computer. Now it should work. So just create an empty database, and Hangfire will do the rest. All right. So now
this is like if you go to a conference and your laptop dies. Hey, Gerald's in here with us.
Hey, look at those 2 handsome gentlemen doing some smart stuff.
Yeah, no, we're not doing smart stuff. Not yet. We're trying to get the thing to build, but
now it's working.
I appreciate his confidence. Hey, nice.
Okay, so now if we take a look at no, not there. Slash Hangfire. So that's the normal. That's what Hangfire gives you, like a sort of a fancy graphs and stuff like that, right? So we're going to be using that. Great. So now let's actually go into our website or our API, and let's actually do a. I think it is API topics.
Okay.
If I do a call to that, there's no topics I've done, so I actually need to create a topic quickly, right? So because the system is basically blank. So the first thing you do, you need to create a topic to subscribe to. So this is obviously an initial thing, and we would, I think, how again does my API look? Topics controller. So then I have a post here. So it's event. That's the event. So create. So okay. So just basically topic model. So that's basically ID and a name.
Yeah.
ID is not necessary, I would say. Okay, so what
I love the namespace, by the way.
What's it? Say what?
I love the namespace. This is your 23rd web app that you've built recently.
That's like copy pasting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Don't worry, I do the same thing. Don't. I'm not trying to shame you. It's
no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Have you seen this HTTP client in Visual Studio Code?
No, I haven't actually. I'm just watching.
This is called REST
watching you
client.
do this now. This looks really cool.
It's called REST
REST
client.
client.
Go download it. It's awesome. It takes Postman.
So you just type your commands in, and it runs like a Postman in the background or something.
Yeah, you can, and it has this IntelliSense thing.
Ah, very cool.
So that, and I want to say, okay, my topic is, for instance, well, let's have a topic foo. Yeah. This is not
Sure.
name. like that. I think that should work, right? So if we say send request, I'll get it created, and it's created at endpoint. So if I go now to topics, I should get back a foo. Now foo is created, right? I can even go foo and get the details of foo, which is like hilarious. So let's just copy this.
So much important info there.
All right, so to post an event to foo, right? It will just post an event, and it won't trigger that event because there's no subscribers. I can go to subscribers and see there's no subscribers.
Foo subscribers, yeah.
No, well, this is also not working. Let me just see what's the right endpoint. Whoa.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Guessing we're getting a parcel delivered.
Subscribers, foo, I would say. Also not. What is the get all for topic? Yeah. API controller, API, subscribers, foo. This is what I've done. It's not coming in here. And this is also
subscribers foo or foo subscribe. You did foo subscribers, didn't you?
Why? Yeah, something is. It says not found for some reason.
Odd.
Subscribers. Am I like okay here, or what's the story?
Subscriptions? Subscriptions, not subscribers.
So
that would be what.
There we go. That's cool. So there we go.
Convention.
So it
has, when it doesn't work.
It has one.
Hey.
It has one subscription. The built-in one when a delivery has failed. It's like it catching itself. It it can't deny itself. You know what I mean? Hey, Martin, two smarty pants in one session.
Gerald and Martin. There's two smarty pants on chat then as well.
I like the chat is working, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So in any case, now we need to be able to say, this is all subscribers, but does foo not
subscriptions foo probably, right?
I hope so. Yeah. Foo doesn't have any subscriptions, right?
Yep, not yet.
So what we can do is we can create a subscription now. So what we do is to create a subscription, we post to the subscription. And it's just like post, and that's just subscription model, which is basically your endpoint and name. So so let's see. I copy this again. Just gonna retype everything again. So oops, and say post, and then this is content type application JSON, and we said it was a name. Oops. Name is Smarty Pants, right? And
as good a name as any.
Yeah, and the endpoint, is it called endpoint URL? Endpoint URL, right? It's called whatever. So because I'm gonna do this now, I'm gonna post, right? Let's say SmartyPants has a server somewhere else that's dodgy, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that will work though.
Are you looking for a dodgy URL? You can type in like Gerald Veslaus with the dot. No.
Gerald dot Versl.
So that's one dodgy URL.
So just to confirm that's a dodgy URL, it needs to pop up a dodgy guy, which is Gerald.
Yeah, look at that, man.
Go read his blog, by the way. Go read his blog. It's actually a great blog written by a dodgy guy.
And the guy behind CFP Exchange, the tool that we're all using to keep up.
This show is sponsored by CSV Exchange.
Yeah. Now we expect the sponsorship money to start rolling in. Here we
go. Okay, so now I'm gonna just do my do like a sort of hook there, right? Now if I post there, it says not okay. Subscriptions foo. Why? That's not supposed to happen.
I think it was a put, wasn't it? Not a post.
You're right. Not. You see, that's why I need to sort of laugh code with you.
Yeah, this is the whole point of pair programming.
And why is it a put? We're not creating something. We're just upsetting something, because a subscription can be updated. And so I put. So it's waiting. And then it says bad request. Response code did not indicate a success. So the event grid.
So I tried to call out to the hook, or
couldn't find hook, right?
Yeah.
So if I say that, which it can find, try again.
Well, we hope. Yeah.
It will actually give an internal server error. And somewhere, okay, it probably needs to happen because it's still okay, but it could not. It could not read that message. So we can make this beautiful as well to actually say that the code did not match and blah 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 blah. So it won't allow you to add the subscription. So if I just there's no subscriptions added. So all right. So now to run this guy, cool. I have a consumer one, which is Smarty Pants in this case, right?
120 guys? I don't know, Martin. What comes after 120 guys?
What?
121?
What comes after 120 guys? 121, yeah? Martin?
Yeah, I'm guessing 121. But he's probably trying to trick us. It's probably some sort of weird Dutch joke. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm gonna continue.
We're getting off track.
I'm going to continue with this thing. So, how's your live coding coming along, by the way? Yeah,
my Visual Studio. So for those of you wondering why I'm sitting here just commenting, my Visual Studio installer is repairing. It's at 97% after downloading 6 gig of broken files, apparently. So this is how often I use Visual Studio. I tried to install LiveShare and the whole thing crashed. So lots of fun. It's just finishing up now. So give me a few minutes and I should be able to jump into a live share session.
Okay, so I'm going to copy this URL now, just to put this in here. And it was called API, I don't know, what was it again? Values. Good old values, right?
Of course.
Okay,
the default controller, love it. Yep.
API values? What? This thing isn't running.
Events values?
I think it's application started. It's not. It's broken.
No, it wants me to restart. I'm not going to restart.
One job. Okay, so this is. Let's see why this is broken. I know why.
Why?
I know why.
I missed this one. Why?
Because yet again, I've written code that I forgot about that I did not document. So I'm trying to go step for step, how you run stuff. And when this thing starts up, remember it tries and subscribe to events, right? So I just need to sort of comment some code out initially. So I just want to comment this out here.
Okay. Is it just me or is it dropped in resolution again?
What
the live stream? Oh no, there it is.
Is it back again?
Yeah, it's back now. Could just be my end as well. So
no, maybe. Foo, right? Foo is the subscriptions. Okay, so now when this consumer starts up, it tries to add subscriptions to this topic automatically. We'll get to that code. That's why it sort of didn't work, because it couldn't find this topic and it couldn't find this endpoint 101. Okay. It's not 101, it's actually something else. Actually make it 101. So let's put it
5.191. Fair enough.
That's fine there. And this other one is 5001. So let's actually do this. Let's kill this. Launch settings 5001, for instance. Will that work? or is it HTTPS? I'm not really entirely sure. So we'll see what happens if I run the server. So what we now should see is that it starts up into 5001.
Yep.
It runs. No, what? Yeah, it runs. Just which
there
is
we go.
correct. Yeah. Okay. And then
Is the
here-
port so low that you're going to have problems with that? That 1001. That seems like a very low numbered port.
Sorry?
So I've had issues before. We're running on a port so low, like a port 1001 has caused me issues before. Oh, you just had the application URL. Don't worry. You're missing a HTTPS because Hangfire needs the secure support. Then is that?
No, this has nothing to do with Hangfire. Just my service is starting up.
Right.
So Hangfire is only. I will show you exactly where Hangfire comes in.
Cool.
All right. So let's just quickly see again. So I have my consumer, right? That's running, and 1001. I have my server that's running on 5001. Huh? And I just quickly need to sort of update my shit here.
Yeah, if you shoot me a live share URL, I should be able to open that now.
Okay, cool. So let's see, live share, right? So live share, okay. Yeah. Ready to collaborate. KO, start. Firewall access.
Sure.
Allow. Okay, sharing. Invitation link copy to clipboard.
Nice.
So what I'll do is just quickly change to us.
Hey, friend. There's your beach house. There's your lovely green armchairs and.
It's still light here, you know. It's like. Hey, looks like I'm outside of the block. Hey, I can almost reach into you.
Oh wow, that's odd.
Any case, let's see if I can get this to you somehow. I'm gonna pop a chat in here.
Cool.
Okay, so should be able to.
Got it. Yep.
Cool. So let's see.
Thanks.
Okay, so now I've got my two stuff running. Just to make sure that I don't have any subscriptions. Oh, by the way, my sample, I don't use the database to save the subscriptions, so I probably need to recreate them again. Or the topics as well. Well, yeah, there's a topic there. Well, it's in memory. Sorry, it's my repository is in memory. When it starts up, it sort of create a. But why did this work? Oh, I just created it. No, did I? Oh yeah, I just created it. Sorry. So now, okay, so there's no subscriptions there. There is a topic there. Great. So, are you ready? So I had to sort of accept.
Yeah, it's jumping in. There we go.
Okay.
Hey, friend.
Here we go. Right. Okay. So, by the way, the chat is gone. I thought.
Oh, really?
Now the chat is gone, so it's probably refreshes, but it's fine. So, in any case, so I have my foo topic, right? So you need to create a topic, and you have subscriptions to your topic. So now we add a subscription to our topic, and we need to say, to our event grid that I want to subscribe to foo. Right.
Yep.
This also doesn't really read properly. Subscriptions to foo. Okay, let's just see. And then it says I'm Smarty Pants, and I live on localhost 001 API values, right?
Yep.
If I post there, it still says not found. Why not? 1001. Why is that the case? Consumer. It's working. API values. See, it's called in.
Right.
Okay, API
So the one time you decide to move away from the defaults and it bites you in the butt.
values in, right? So
Yeah.
post. Also not found. Come
Is
on.
it values in? Isn't it just
API values or API events?
values? Yeah, API's events and then in.
Because my class name is different. It's values there, and I don't read there. But in any case, so now this will work. All right. So if I do that, okay, something is happening. It shouldn't take this long, but fine.
Okay.
But why is it taking so long, by the way? This is...
Consumer's running, yeah?
It is running, but why?
It's waiting.
For what?
Sitting on a breakpoint or something somewhere?
No, it's not running in that mode. So see, events in...
Oh, no, it looks like my video is frozen. On a lovely screenshot of my...
I wonder if Hangfire was doing something. In any case, so let's just go run it like a debugging mode, just to see if this thing is actually going places.
Yep. Wow, that actually kicked it off on my machine as well.
Yeah, so when I run it on live share, it actually creates a debugging session on your side. And the cool thing is
crazy.
You don't need to have .NET Core installed at all. It compiles on my machine, and it sort of you can have a vanilla machine with VS Code on it. Everything will work.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and I'm using the real Visual Studio, like the Visual Studio 2017, not Visual Studio Code either. I love that you can use either or both to collaborate. That's
So I just want to quickly see if I can hit this endpoint, because this is important for me. Post.
the localhost one.
Yeah. Because,
Sorry, where our video went somewhere.
Let's just see. So now my subscription was created.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a...
that makes a lot more sense now. Okay.
Just give me 1 second.
No worries. Take your time. Yeah, Martin, I don't know exactly what happened to my video, but yeah. This is lovely. I wonder if you can still hear me. Yeah, Fanie's coming back now.
Okay, so sorry, I'm back.
No worries.
Just have to go and fetch something downstairs.
Not a problem.
Okay, so as we can see now that our event was created, I can do this as many times as I want because then it just upserts it.
Martin's making fun of you because my video is frozen and the chat's working though, but my video is frozen.
Yeah, I suppose you can just go out and in again, most probably it will still work, but fine.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
I'll come right back. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Sorry. So where were we? Localhost 5000.
So I've just subscribed to this event now, right? And
Yep.
So I've subscribed to this topic foo.
Yep.
And I did not subscribe to specific events. I just subscribed to all events.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have said, you know what, I actually want
A specific subtype or something, yeah.
Event types. I don't know.
How do we know what's available to us though?
Anything.
We don't.
Well, event types is something you can invent. So
yeah, so you just design your own event types and then shoot them for a client.
If I say this just happened, for instance, I'm only subscribing to
just that type.
This just happened, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so that's cool, right? So now let's throw some events. So the yellow indicates that so when a consumer runs, the yellow console indicates that there's a subscription update.
Okay.
I can even exit this thing, and when I start it up again, it will. It's funny because it's not doing that. Subscribe to that same event, but fine. Oh no, it's not because I turned it off. I turned it off. So what you want to do is, if your application starts up, you want to say, you know what?
You want to subscribe it.
Hey, topic, subscribe to events. That's just this just
happened. Yep.
For instance. Now when I run this, we should see yellow saying that we subscribe to that event, right? And if I run my subscriptions for foo, I see that that's there, right?
Yep.
That's cool. So we're all locked in it, right? So
now it's all wired up.
So now it's all wired up. Okay, this goes very slowly because I'm also actually trying to explain what's going on, right? But fine. So on the left is my. So I'm gonna on the right is the destination system. I'm gonna do this. Let's do it like this. So see if I can actually get this guy. How do I get this guy? Okay. So
there we go.
If I'm going to be putting an event, posting an event. So let's say I'm posting it from Visual Studio Code.
Yep.
I need to post it to my food topic. And I need to tell it exactly topics. Here we go. Post. So I need to give it a few events.
Yep.
And these are this is the cloud event schema I was talking about earlier.
All right. Yep.
So we need an event type, which is first of all, this should be a array because you can post multiple events.
Yep.
So that's endpoint. So let's say event. So let's just say this just for now.
This just works.
Yeah. Then we have event version, which is default. I don't need that. Clouds event version. I don't need that. The source is important. So the source, it can be any URI.
Okay.
So the source in this case, I'm going to be saying apps VS Code, I would say. That's valid,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then we can say event ID, it's generated. Event time, that's generated. Schema URI, it's not needed. Content type, that's if you have data in your if you have data in your message, you can define what's that content type of the data, because that data can be any data, you know. And you can also define the schema of that data. So if it's a JSON schema, you could just say where it is and stuff like that. And there's like extensions, but I'm not going to use these other things. I just included it for the sake of the schema that it's in this object. So technically, all I need is this, right?
Because this is that standard schema that you were talking about.
Yes.
The cloud type.
Exactly. So that's that event, right? So let's just send it, right? And not found, really.
You probably want to get rid of that last comma. That'll trip you up.
Topics foo, but why is this not working? Let me just see. Why it says not found? What is not found? Topics.
You're posting it to the
API topics name.
Yeah.
API topics foo.
Oh, you got to post it, not put it.
There we go. Thanks.
No worries, man.
Cool.
This is the only reason I'm here. just to be clear, I'm not contributing at all.
Yeah. So I'm sending it now. Okay, now I get a bad request. Required property event type not found. Okay, I probably need to sort of.
Yeah, because it's plural there.
I just need to sort of do this because.
No, it's plural.
Oh, you're right.
So event type, not event types. There you go. Yep.
But did you see how it actually validates my thing using the ASP.NET?
Yeah, the
automatically. And if you take a look at the code, there's no
reminds me of like a MVC validation or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly that. But there's no if, you know. So
there's no call to validate or anything.
It all happens in here, in the API controller attribute, which is quite cool.
Love this.
Okay, so event type. Okay, let's try this again. Send request.
Come on, fingers crossed. Yay!
Right, so if we take a look at what Hangfire is doing now, Hangfire won't do anything because there's nothing happening. It didn't really see any subscriptions, so it literally ignored that event.
It just dropped the message or whatever. Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? And then the question is, do we want to drop that event, or do we want to sort of stick it in an event store somewhere? I don't know. The idea,
right. So if you want it to be like a durable queue or only
if there are no subscriptions, subscribers listening to it, you know, is it really, or do you
like a tree falling in a forest thing? Yeah.
Do you really need to validate that as well? Maybe it's a validation thing. I don't know.
Could.
So let's do two now. So let's go 2 events and say happened. Take a look what's happening on the right hand side.
Nice.
Event received.
Yep.
Right?
Nice and green.
So that's cool, right? So, and it was so fast that Hangfire did not really flinch.
Yeah.
But if you take a look at it succeeded, it has a succeeded job here, which contains the stuff. So Hangfire did its job, right?
Yeah.
So let's take a real world scenario where the servers go down. Okay.
Makes sense.
Let's say, you know, something happens again, and something happens again. Like 3 events of this just happened, fired off, right?
Yep.
Let's take a look what is happening in Hangfire then. Because my consumer app is not running.
Ah, nice.
It will keep this retries.
Very cool.
So it will retry 1 and 2, 1 and 3, etc. So in a few seconds it will retry. So if I take my consumer app and actually eventually start it up again. Pressing the wrong buttons.
We're gonna draw the subscriptions, is it?
Yeah. See, here it comes.
Okay.
The
Yep.
one comes in, and then the other one will come in eventually.
Yeah. I think Hangfire has a exponential back off by default. So
Yes. So, but we can actually force it by going. Well, it didn't. There's the next one. Processing schedule. So this one I can just force.
yep.
So in queue. And the third one came through.
Yep.
So that's
Nice, man.
So that's basically how this POC was built, right? So it's very much in line with Azure Event Grid. So now I think, yeah, we've taken an hour. I don't know if it's any useful. Maybe I can take a look at the code. Maybe that's some useful things because you're in the code anyway. Do you have any questions for me?
For you? No, this is really. I was just having a look through the. I've got it up and running in Visual Studio myself. I was having a look through the code. It's all so straightforward.
Exactly.
Right?
So let's quickly take a look at where the subscription is, where the thing starts up. So it's very simple. So when a topic is upserted, it comes in here, right? So I still need to do some validation, right? But then it maps it to a subscription, and then basically here, this is where it, this is just this event type is where it sort of fires off the validation thing first.
Yeah. So where are you working at the moment? It's a random telecom provider based in the Netherlands, maybe.
Yeah, that's just a random telecom.
Just completely random URL in here. Voter, there we go. Fixed. There you go.
So
I've broken all the
So let's actually change this to don't have this in, because they said the event type needs to sort of somehow have to have the kind of domain in there.
And that's not anything specific. That's not a URL. It's
exactly.
not. It's just the format that you're using inside your company, right?
Yeah, GitHub is actually using the same kind of format for its events.
For like conventions, yeah.
Yes. It needs to be readable, it needs to be understandable, and it's domain events at the end of the day, right? So you need to be sort of grouping it into. That's why I use this dot notation. So fine. So what it's doing initially, first, where's my Zoom? So it's basically when it gets a subscription and it's valid, I create my source from. This is interesting. Oh yeah, so I create my source because I'm busy doing a validation now first, and then I'm using my client that I got from the HTTP client factory like a good boy.
Yep.
And I just post to that endpoint and see what happens. So if everything is fine, I read the this validation response, which is just an object that contains a validation response. And if we take a look at the actual controller, so here, when an event comes in and it's a type of subscriptions validate, right? I just I serialize that back, and I just read the validation code, and I create a response back called validation response and just echo it back.
Yep.
And that's how I link it. I want this a bit different. Actually, I want this to be able to run. This is like a bit of a hack, you know. But the way Event Grid is doing it in the SDK, it's basically saying because event model, right? Event model has a data object.
Okay. Yep.
So what it's doing, I don't know where I'm now. Yeah. Go back. Yes. Is it here? No.
Jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. With you now. Yep.
So instead of saying, testing for event type, I can actually say if my event data is subscription validation event data, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, use pattern matching, and then do like data dot validation code, blah blah blah, right? But this doesn't work at the moment because when it serializes, data is a J object. And
Okay.
it cannot cast this to a J object. I most probably can implement something like a
like a implicit conversion or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Implicit cast.
Yeah, but if you take a look at the event grid source code, they have something called like event dot parse data or something like that, and that calls and that sort of maps and do some ifs and stuff to cast into this, and then this works.
More specific properties then, or to like, does it unwrap it then, or does it actually just fill other properties instead?
No, well, it just makes sure that data is it sort of interrogates the contents, and if the data matches this, then it creates a data type of that.
Okay. Yep.
Instead of a J object. Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. But in any case, this is much more readable than doing this, I would say, because what will happen if my event type changes and it's still a validation thing? And this
this one, on line 36,
exactly. So this should be a, if we talk about packaging this up into a NuGet package, you must be able to have a blank service and say .add awesome event grid.
Yep.
And it should just work, right? And your SDK that you use, like your client connector, should have these things built in already. So if you have your endpoint like I have here, I mustn't be doing this. I must be doing this.
Right. Okay. So where does that validate hook come from then?
We need to build it.
Right.
Okay. So the validate hook needs to do what I've done, like this, for instance, or the pattern matching.
Yeah.
So it knows about the event before it actually gets to this point.
Okay. And you said there was an example of this on GitHub somewhere. You said do you have that handy?
Let me just see if I can find it somewhere.
Like if anyone's following along at home, it might also be handy for them.
Oh, the source code here?
Yeah, the source code here, but also you said there was an example. You said the way that a cloud partner does it, a way that Azure does it. I can't remember.
So Azure, let me just see. Event grid SDK. GitHub. It should be on GitHub. Azure samples. No, it's not Azure samples. Where would it be now?
Maybe the second link, the Microsoft Docs. That stuff's awesomely up to date at the moment.
That's Docs. I'm looking for source code. Using the new. I will see if I can. Here we go.
That looks like it.
Yes, Azure SDK for net and SDKs. Event grid should. Actually, what we can do is we can just be lazy and just do a. Oops. Do a find.
Space lookup.
That's right. So we can just say in this repository.
Yeah.
And eventually it will find it. So data plane. So they have a dictionary of all their events.
Right.
And they use that dictionary to find out
the map from
is. I need to find. I don't know where it is, but it's here somewhere.
Okay. We can look it up later.
Yeah.
Put it in the show notes for you.
Put it in the show notes. Yeah, but where they have data is. Maybe you can search for that. Where is this?
Yeah, because you know that it'll come before that, you said.
You know what? The Azure Event Grid has samples.
Yeah.
docs, please say thank you. AI. There we go. And then here with .NET tutorials, samples, code samples.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, which one is it now?
I used to, I mean, and yeah, I don't know whether this is good or bad, but I used to always go to Stack Overflow and search for the type that I was looking for before. But more and more, like the last few weeks, as soon as I get stuck now, any link that leads me to Azure or to Microsoft Docs is like so much more valuable now.
Yeah. Let me see how to post a custom topic. Let's just see.
Like you've seen this somewhere, right? This is what you were saying to me before. You've maybe the filter events up under the how-to guides. There's the filter events down a little bit, down there. So maybe this is where they do their filter. No, this looks like it's all set out.
It's something. It's something where you custom events, like a tutorial. Let's go sort of to a tutorial. Email.
They must show you there, right?
So we'll go through all this stuff. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, which is basically what we did earlier, except we did it on our local machine, not in the cloud.
Where's the .NET example? Samples. Code. Let's be code samples. Okay, let's just see. So
for Node, for Python, dead letter samples for .NET, right in the middle. Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. We can figure
Don't stress. Well,
in any case, so basically, this is one of the things I want to do. So that's validating, right? So if it's not this type, and obviously it will just take the event and do things with it, right? Event grid should only acknowledge that the event has been received when you reply a 200 range back. So
right, okay, nice.
Like any other service, this shouldn't be a long-running process.
Yeah, no.
It should say I've received it, thank you, or I've received it and I'm putting it on my queue for processing or something like that. You know, I need to sort of, you know the dance, but you know, as long as
you could lift it into to reuse your Hangfire example, you could lift it out of receiving that and push it in or local one. Yep.
Exactly. So as long as that's fine, that's done. So Hangfire will actually not it will not stop retrying if it doesn't get a 201 or 200 at least.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So let's do that now. So for instance, if we have a actual subscription to a topic and we want to post to that endpoint, right? So
I just switched back to the live stream and I have seen that my face is replaced with a localhost page can't be found, which is even better.
Oh no, let's just see what.
As opposed to the non-blinking.
Oh, yeah, because I've opened some tabs. There we go.
Oh, hey friend, that's better.
But I mustn't.
Not that I wanted to see myself, but yeah.
No, so I just have to do that. Let's just see if this still works. Oh, that still works fine.
Oh, hey.
So in any case, if we want to post to events, so this here, right?
Yep.
So it tries to find a topic with that name. If it doesn't exist, it sort of validates that, right? And this is the important thing. So when it gets a event to action, it just tells my event handler to handle it.
Yep.
So in this case,
hands it off straight away.
Yes. So in this case, my implementation here is using Hangfire, but you know you could use your own implementation.
Yep.
So I even want to maybe abstract this one, because this is the Hangfire stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe like a dispatcher dot, you know, in queue or whatever, and you can implement that somewhere.
Well, you've also got all the information about the event here, right? So you could choose, you could use a fancy sort of dependency injection to hand events off to wherever they need to go, right? The different sort of subsystems or
exactly. So
very fan it out.
my hangfire now in this case is using for lack of better words now, it's actually using a dispatcher to sort of send that webhook off, but the mechanism is just now the queuing thing, right?
Yep.
If I go to dispatch here, when it actually tries to call it, it will react on the events queue.
Yep.
But then here it's like I'm getting a client, and this is all a dependency injection, so it's all fine. But then this is also important. So if I don't have that, it will be because hangfire is firing forget. This will run once and assume it's fine. But if I don't say ensure stated secure access code, secure success code, it won't. It will throw a exception, which means it will fail, which means it will try again. So as long as it is okay, it won't retry again for like 3 times.
Yeah.
In terms of so that's basically how the event thing works, and then there's some other stuff in here we need to clean up. But what's important is some of these things that can go away.
It feels so good selecting commented out code and just deleting it, right?
Exactly. Basically,
didn't need that anyway.
All of these things need to be in a package. This can be in a package. I really need that, but fine, maybe we can incorporate that. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to go services.add awesome event grid.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe say options is some options. So give it, for instance, subscription endpoint is, I don't know, subs. You define all your subscriptions and all your endpoints here.
Yep.
Then you won't have these controllers. It will be all implemented for you. You won't have these controllers in your actual server. You will only have your stuff.
Yep.
And this is only middleware. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of how Hangfire works as well, right? The only mention you've got of Hangfire a few lines down is like, oh, by the way, just do me a favor and use SQL as your backend, right?
Yes. So in this case, add awesome server with Hangfire, for instance. Yeah, it's like that. Stuff like this would be crazy. And then you have a event grid system with using Hangfire or using in memory or whatever. Yeah, and then you can have some fun and do this, and then just pass that straight through. Exactly. Easy, man. So that's really cool. Creating an event grid system from scratch, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So how much of this then, a question that I do have then, how much of this is yours, like that you've written and built, and how much of it has been lifted out of like the SDKs and the READMEs and the samples? Like how much of this do you think would be replicated by someone else? And how much of this do you think is Microsoft's recommendation for you to do anyway? Okay, so basically all the code that's here I've written myself. I've peeked into the implementation. Well, if you go to the docs to see how it actually go and work and stuff, and I've mimicked that. I've implemented that. Okay. The only thing I've probably took as a reference was where's that event? This basically, because the event type. This kind of was this, and I was like, let's just use their implementation or their actual object because it's a standard thing. Okay. So to answer your question, it's all custom. There's no third party. That's really cool, man. Unless Hangfire, but that's just a mechanism. Yeah, of course, that's a implementation detail. Yeah. But that's also what makes it kind of interesting because, why hasn't this been done before? Yeah, well, that's that's a very good question. It's either probably because there's no need or because it's,
I think so. For me, and the experiences that I've seen, it takes a lot of time and effort for people to catch up with the. So this is a native cloud technology, right? This is something that's available if you're using Azure, or you're using equivalent cloud platform providers. There are technologies that will do all this for you, and SDKs, and you can just pull it out of the box and off you go. But if you're working, like you said right at the start of the video, if you're working in an offline environment or a on-prem environment that's heavily firewalled, or you're you can't easily integrate those software as a service providers, then yeah, this is easier, right? This is giving you that same functionality without having to hook it up to the cloud system.
Exactly. You could even build your own service and use your own service, build your own service with your own NuGet package, right?
Yeah.
And compile it as a Docker image.
That'll be fun. And then just hand it out to those that have got containers.
There's on-premise event grid.
Yeah. And if you use the right types and you use the right API, you could say it's a drop-in replacement. And then when you're ready to go to the cloud, off you go.
Exactly. Because I want to say, if this is my aim, is I must be able to say this URL is azureeventgrid.com/subscriptions, whatever the subscription endpoint is.
Yep.
And this should be my subscriptions. This should stay the same.
Yeah.
It should still work. That's the key.
Yep.
It should continue work. So
that's really cool, man.
Some ideas, but
to be continued.
You can't see my screen, but this is what you could see my screen, but the viewers couldn't see my screen because you were in my screen. It's just complicated.
No.
But I was saying this URL will eventually go to the cloud, and then you won't use the on-prem one, but your code will still work the same because your webhook is still there. It's not because you would need a webhook anyway for.
Yeah, you need to set that stuff up.
Exactly. So cool.
Cool, man. Well, maybe over the Christmas break, that'll give us something fun to work on.
Exactly. I have just realized that I don't have a closing leader, and I think Marshall. Let me just quickly see. Maybe if you can tell a joke, I can quickly get it.
If I can tell a joke.
You can tell a joke.
It depends if Gerald's still online or not. Because I do enjoy insulting him. Probably not. Doesn't. There you go.
That was the mic thingy.
That's the intro. All right.
That's the intro. So it's actually like that. Let me just see if I can find.
Oh, now it's just you. Hey, friend.
It's just me. I'm so lonely.
It's so green.
Just see if I can find it quickly, and this is how. Outro.
I do want to check out your setup one day, like how you've got all this green screen and you make all this stuff look so easy. I can't imagine how complex it would be on the other side of the camera. There you go. Yep.
There we go. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to say not that. I'm just looking for the right application. It's sort of weird that I'm not really. Let's see.
I'm going to bail from this live sharing session. I'll just close that. Yeah.
Stream Deck.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks for stepping me through the code.
Let me just quickly see where is that stuff. Where is my? There's there. Okay. Stream Deck. And I now need to link my button. That one I will probably link to. Live.
I know I said that you made it look easy, but now you're starting to let me down, man.
Yeah, exactly. Where is this now? This is now Mike and people. So I'm just looking for the right places. Me and Mike, which is me and Mike. but this needs to be. I'm just. It sounds like I'm doing like way awesome stuff, but I'm not really doing way awesome stuff. I'm just trying to see. Here we go, and then video source 2. So technically, okay, cool. Now.
Yep. There we go.
So now, going back to.
So now do your outro.
I just want to say thank you, friends, for visiting our webcast. We should be able to be live. I just want to see if we are still live on YouTube or just talking to ourselves.
I think we were live. I don't know what
I think we are still live. Yeah, we are still live, which is fine.
Cool.
And I want to thank everyone for watching and chatting and giving us tips, and especially you, Pat, for correcting my puts to posts and posts to put.
I think that was my biggest contribution of the evening, and so that I'm going to call it a day with that. That's enough for today.
And for the folks out there, if you do want this as a package or as a Docker, just feedback welcome. Let's make this happen, and let's build this. Pat, have a good evening and good night.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers.
It was fun.
And now this doesn't work anymore. Oh, because I need to be there.